My mom skipped my surgery for my stepsister's wedding, so I made sure she regretted it. My mother picked my stepsister Delphine's wedding over my cancer surgery, and I didn't forget it. I was 22 when I felt a hard lump in my chest and my stomach dropped. 3 weeks later, Dr. Martinez looked at my scans and said, "Stage 2, aggressive. We need surgery right away." He tapped his calendar. Next Thursday. I walked out shaky and called my mom from the parking lot. She didn't let me finish. "That's Delphine's wedding day. Can't you move it?" I froze. Move? My cancer surgery? Mom sighed like I was being rude. "The whole family is flying in. Your stepfather spent $40,000. Delphine requested you as maid of honor." That part was news to me, because Delphine and I barely talked. "Mom, the doctor said waiting could be dangerous," I said. "Surely 1 week won't matter," she replied. "Family comes first." I hung up and called my Aunt Patricia, my mom's sister, the one who actually shows up. I told her the date, and she said, "I'll drive you." Of course. Then she asked, "Where's your mother?" "At a wedding," I said, and my voice cracked. Mom didn't call to check on me after that. She called to argue. 3 days before surgery, she said, "Maybe this is a sign you should rethink your life choices. You've always been dramatic." She listed my drama like a report: therapy, boundaries, moving away for college. Then she added, "If you stayed closer to family, you wouldn't be so stressed." That night, I stared at the appointment sheet until the ink blurred. I even called the surgeon's office to ask if delaying was safe, and the nurse said, "Please don't. We booked this fast for a reason." I texted Mom that I couldn't move it. She left me unread. The next day, Delphine added me to a wedding group chat and wrote, "So excited for Thursday," like nothing was happening. When I replied, "I'm having surgery Thursday," the chat went quiet. Then someone removed me. I watched the little typing bubbles pop up, then disappear. Aunt Patricia drove me to my pre-op visit, sat through every form, and stocked my fridge without asking. Thursday morning, Aunt Patricia held my hand while they checked my wristband and rolled me under bright lights. Right before I went under, I checked my phone. No call. When I woke up, my throat was dry and my body felt heavy, but Aunt Patricia was there, squeezing my fingers. Mom sent one text: "Hope everything went well. Wedding was beautiful." Delphine looked radiant. 2 months later, my doctor told me I was clear, and I cried so hard I couldn't speak. That same week, a package showed up in my mailbox. It was Delphine's wedding photos, with a card on top. "Wish you could have been there. XOXO, the family." I flipped through them with my hands shaking. There was my mom in the front row, smiling so wide her cheeks looked sore. She was wearing the dress she'd been saving for my future wedding. That's when something in me went quiet and steady. If I wasn't family when I needed her most, then family was just a word she used when it helped her. I didn't beg for an apology. I watched and waited. Delphine's husband, Bryce, loved to brag about money and wins. He talked too loud at dinners, flashed new watches, and joked that rules were for people who couldn't hustle. People around him whispered about missing funds and late invoices, like they were scared to say it out loud. Over time, proof dropped into my hands in small pieces, the kind of stuff a careful person wouldn't leave around. Each time I got something solid, I saved it. When the pile was big enough to speak for itself, I sent it to the people who had power to act. Just the records, the dates, and a short note. Someone who believes in accountability. On their first anniversary, they went to a fancy restaurant for photos. Halfway through dinner, Bryce's phone lit up. His face went pale, and he stood so fast his chair scraped the floor. Men in suits walked in, calm and serious, and Bryce tried to laugh like it was a mistake. They didn't laugh back. They let him out while people stared, and Delphine cried at the table. Mom called me shaking and screaming, "How could you do this to Delphine? She's family!" I waited for her to breathe and said, "So was I, when I needed surgery to stay alive." She snapped, "That's different." I said, "Yeah, my surgery actually mattered." The line went dead quiet. Finally, she said, "I'm disowning you." I stared at the wall and said, "Perfect." Then I hung up, deleted her number, and let the silence stay.